Greetings, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Welcome back to my Trailmaker series. Today we are going to address some shortcomings with our current progress. So, with that thought in mind, find yourself a comfy mobile seat and let's get into the action. Now, as we just teleported to Leapsvale, the goal of this episode is to essentially grind out some more settlement tasks and reputation with each of the settlements that we've already more or less completed. As you can see, we're only at 2 out of 3 of the available power cells as a result of that for this one, and I think we're only 1 out of 3 for Tungberg. So essentially our vehicle's been going alright so far, but my initial sort of testing in the swamp area has uncovered the need. Well, maybe not need. Need's probably not quite the right word, but there's a bit of a trend where we are starting to struggle a bit with our lack of power cores. So this episode, we are going to work on that. Now, a side effect of that, of course, is we're going to probably go up a level or 2, and that is going to unlock some more equipment, and that is definitely not a bad thing. So, in terms of settlement tasks, the only tasks that we had available here at Leapsvale was to go and pick up some people, but they had 2 different ones there, and the transport people, or Froggets I should say, the Frogget transport missions out of Leapsvale only involve 4 Froggets each, so I'm actually thinking, yeah, look, even though they're in kind of different directions a little bit, we're just going to end up, we'll do a bunch of gathering, because more resources is never going to go astray. But when we get to our first group of Froggets, we're actually just going to make a fairly well optimized Frogget bus, as opposed to the nightmare fuel that was my previous Frogget bus. We're going to make one that's nice and fast, so that we can, if necessary, we can just use the same bus to burn through a whole bunch of these, collect Frogget type missions. And we can do so reasonably quickly and not have to, waste a bunch of time. So, that's the goal for this mission. That's the goal for this episode, is to, get us some more rep with as many places as we can, so we can get a few extra power cores and therefore, just have quicker and easier progress moving forward. So, we managed to dispatch a few of our erstwhile not friends, the botnacks. We got rid of those here on the beach. We're doing a bit of a design job here, but of course we've got to repair first, so we've done a free repair. And this is the vehicle that we're going to, or at least the blueprint that we're going to start with. And we're going to pull this one apart and build ourselves a Frogget bus. Yeah, I'm still coming to grips with the whole blueprinty type system in this game, but it's alright. You can have a chuckle as I do at my previous efforts. Other stuff, we're sort of getting the hang of the whole, copy type element, and it's very driven by camera position, so you can, if you get your camera in the right spot, it can save you a bit of effort with your duplications, so that side of it is getting better. I'm sure other elements of this are definitely going to be a work in progress, but look, Rome wasn't conquered in a day, and I'm sure there's many other cliches that go with that. But we are, yeah, we're making some progress here. We've got ourselves a useful, fairly wide, very flat sort of platform here. Now, I identified that the suspension pieces on the back were a little bit exposed, and I was worried that a lucky shot might knock off one or both of the rear wheels. And so what we're doing here is we're popping some shields. Well, we don't have shield blocks yet, but we've just popped some regular blocks there just to help protect the suspension pieces. So that's all good. We've got some wedges on the front there. Shout out Wedge Gang, I guess. And all we've got on this is a whole bunch of engines. And that just ties into what I was saying about I want this thing to be fast. You know, it's the, you know, Ricky Bobby, I want to go fast. Except in this case, it's a bus, not a race car. But anyway, we seem to have something here that's kind of working for us, but it still feels a little bit slow. And I think that's mostly these tyres. Now, these tyres are pretty good for getting around with smaller vehicles on any terrain. They go okay, but with the bigger vehicles, I think with the extra weight, we're not going to slip and slide quite as badly. So I have a little bit of a test run here with the regular wheels, because they are faster, and yeah, it actually seems to be working all right. So we're going to leave this as our configuration for our, you know, bus. And, yep, we're going to start hauling Froggets around. So let's see how this little piece of engineering magnificence actually works out. Yeah, I'm going to claim success with that trick. Yep. I fully intended and got. Yeah, okay. Well, you know, it works okay. The fact that it wants to land back on its wheels is actually a pretty handy thing to have with rollovers, so that's pretty good. In other news, from a safety standpoint, the rollover protection is not very good. We might have to talk with the lead designer and see if we can do something about that with the future versions. But for the moment, it did manage to get the job done. It did manage to shrug off some botnak attacks, and we managed to deliver 2 lots of passengers. So hey, that's pretty awesome. We got a couple of regular things there that we can hand in. As you can see, our reputation bar is going up in leaps and bounds now. No pun intended that we're in Leapsvale, but anyway. Now, the next round of missions, we've got another 4, pick up the dudes. Yep. It's early on a Sunday morning, forgetting words. Yeah, we're going alright at the whole forgetting words things, and by that I mean we are definitely forgetting quite a lot of words, but that is pretty standard with when I try and record these things, so yep, all good. Yes, what I was saying, yes, we've got to pick up another 4 Froggets, so we're going to head out that way and do that. But I've picked up one of these killing a certain type of botnak drill type thing. So these are the mining drones ones. So I think they're the lowest level of them. So they're the ones that you come across most frequently. And I've got to kill 4 of them. So that's not going to take a lot of effort. So we're going to see if we can knock out both of those and hand those back in at Leapsvale. And if that doesn't quite finish us off for rep, I think we're going to be really close at that stage. So, yep, let's see how we get on with that. Now, the pickup point, as I've come to realise with a lot of these future missions for not just Leapsvale, but for other sites as well, the transport frigates missions, it always sends you back to pretty much the same location. In fact, it was quite frustrating with one of the locations. It would only offer me like the pickup point was the same for every single time I got it, which was a little bit repetitive. I mean, it was handy because if I was doing the missions back to back, it meant I'd already cleared out all the botnets, you know, in both directions. So it was handy from that point of view, but it was quite repetitive, particularly since this particular location only seemed to offer me one transport thing at a time, which meant I wasn't even getting full value out of my, you know, bus here. I always had empty seats, so yeah, anyway, that's probably my only little groan, was that the transport missions for the frigates were a bit repetitive, but it's alright. The reputation system, you do go up quite quickly with it. It's not, I wouldn't say it's grindy at all. There's enough variety in the missions, and there's enough other things that you can be doing. Not to mention, you do get a moderate amount of reputation just from doing the story mission at each location. So it's actually pretty good. It's certainly it didn't at no stage was it actually boring to me. I just found it mildly tedious. But anyway, enough of that. It's probably been a solid 30 seconds since I've rebuilt my vehicle. So here we are again rebuilding our vehicle. I've worked out that all that extra, you know, blocks on the sides, we're not really needing it. And then tying into a sort of a bit of a thought process, or a bit of a discovery that we had in a previous episode, that if we put the shield on the front of the turret that the shotguns are mounted on, then the shield rotates with the guns, and so the guns are almost inevitably going to be pointing, or I'm going to be pointing them very actively at whatever the nearest most painful thing is, and therefore it makes sense to have the shield in that direction as well. So thanks to that earlier bit of engineering wizardry or fluke, I've come on this design. Now, there's one side effect of this particular arrangement, which is it does have a bit of weight slightly higher up, and because it's a fairly short wheelbase, it did want to do a few wheelies. So I made the decision that, yeah, I'll put a weight on the front of it underneath, and that will make it, you know, stick to the ground more readily, and that is exactly what it's doing. Now, we've had a bit of a look around. We've got a mission there in Leapsvale we haven't handed in yet, but we're just having a quick look around at anything else that we can potentially be doing. There is a mission that we still have, so we haven't killed any mining drones. So I'm sort of out and about doing some more gathering, and I want to locate some more mining drones so we can complete that mission as well. But then I noticed on the mini-map there, or on the map, that there is also just a random mission out in the world. And I figure, yeah, I'm going to work my way over towards that, and then we'll see what delights await us along the way. Alright, well in the old MMO language I would say ding. But anyway, we have established there with the smaller drones at least, their weapons don't seem to penetrate that shield, which is nice, but by the same token, the bigger drones, when he charges that weapon up, they do seem to go through the shield a little bit. But look, having the shield is definitely better than not having it, so we're gonna stick with that. Now, the other thing that we're sort of going with here is we're now working on getting up to wherever this mission is. Okay, that's a big hole. Is the mission down in the hole? No, it doesn't seem to be. Oh, hello. Here's a frogget. What does this frogget want? Yeah, look, minor spoiler, but there are some, we'll say smart aleck froggets out there that like to set you little challenges, and this is definitely, you know, not the last one. I've encountered a few along the way, and they'll be included in future episodes. But for this one, he just wants me to jump the ditch, essentially. So this, look, if I wanted to go all out, I could take the pulse miner off the front and stick another engine or two on it, but I'm pretty, yep, there we go. I was pretty sure I was going to be able to get up to enough speed without needing to rely on that, so yep, we managed to complete that, and yep, let's see what our little smug friend has to say. Alright, just having a bit of a look around the map here just to see if there was any other little missions that were highlighted in this area, but there doesn't seem to be. So at this stage, I'm going to head back to Leapsvale after I fix my wheels, and we'll go and hand in what we've completed, and we'll see how we're sitting with our reputation. Oh yeah, I had to finish off that kill the drone mission as well. So, well, we've definitely done that now, so we don't have any more outstanding missions. So with the dispatching of this last botnak here, we are now able to go back and hand in both of the missions that we've completed. Oh, alright. Guilty as charged. I got sidetracked on the way back, but The good kind of sidetracked, because we went somewhere we hadn't explored previously and we get another one of these treasure chests. So definitely worth the trip. And now we've explored up on this big lump of a hill here, we can have a bit of a look around and see what the lie of the land is out this way, because we haven't explored in that direction yet. Look, we'll do some of that in a future episode. In the meantime, we are testing our level of crash protection in the somewhat most extreme way. Coming down to the beach here, the session was starting to get a bit long, so I thought I'll take a shortcut and see how falling damage works. Well, yeah, falling damage works, definitely, but we didn't destroy our vehicle, and that's the thing that I wanted to test, so all good. Alright, we're back here at Leapsvale. We're going to hand some stuff in, and then we are going to wrap up the episode. Alright, we've reached the end of the episode. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and to consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. Until next time, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure you have yourself an absolutely awesome, amazing, and fabulous day.